All right, guys, I've been on holiday 2 weeks. It's gonna last another 2 weeks. I'm in Dubai. It's absolutely boiling. I love it. Right, a lot has happened in the markets, a lot. We see the DXY, right? It came out, broke out this descending, and this little area here was bullish for the dollar, of course. It broke out. Honestly, for me, I thought it would continue. And then the one thing that can reverse the technical pattern is news. All right. Most of the times the technicals override the news. They know the news coming, but this was really, you got the Friday numbers, you got tariffs. This wasn't priced in completely by the market. So what happened? We came all the way back down, tested the sort of breakout zone of 99 on DXY. What happens next? Well, we're stabilizing here. That makes sense. News will probably send us one way or the other, but we should bounce. We should bounce and retest 100, which is bullish for the dollar. But if we fail that, it's immediately bearish. I don't like to play this. I don't know two sides, but I actually don't know. But it makes sense that we came back down to 99, and it makes sense that we haven't just flushed again because I mean this was a real breakout. So maybe today is sort of a sideways day on the dollar. And then I think the next day might even give away the next move. Thing is, if we take out 100, we should go to 102. If we go take out 97, we're flush into 95 and all this stuff. So let's see. Right now, gold, silver, the miners. So gold lost, and a lot of people are sort of, I don't want to say bearish, but short-term bearish. Yeah. We lost this. It's too many lines. So I'm gonna have to clean it up. We lost this ascending line, right? And we just flushed. We came back down to the next one, sort of bounced before that. And now we're here, we're retesting this ending. We should sort of, there should be a lot of resistance. We should sort of go sideways and come back down. Again, it's a bit like the dollar. You've either got to lose this sort of 3,200, let's say 65 to be sure. And then actually 3,250. That's the real one. And then you're flushing. Then you're going down, maybe to 3,100. Um, yeah, maybe 3,100. Let's get rid of that. Give it some space. We don't have to be too aggressive. I've been a bit aggressive recently, but do we take out 3,250, which is kind of dependent on the dollar, I reckon, or do we keep going and take out, well, yeah, it's a bit obvious by then, though, isn't it? 3,445. You're just gonna have to give it some room. It's just a bit uncertain, but that bounce was beautiful. It was closed at higher day on Friday. So far, it's just unchanged, but like the dollar. You're waiting for the US market to open. I got to get used to the new time zones too. Silver, all right, down like gold, but also hitting a nice sort of resistance. Like the bounce is good. So, and also we bounced quite well on so far on Monday. It's actually quite good. So silver's okay. Look, long term, medium term, bullish. All right. For me, these are opportunities to buy the dip. Nothing is changing. All right. The tariffs are bullish for gold and silver. And the miners, I would say, even if the market drops, right, fundamentally, long term, it's bullish. The Friday's number, the inflation, I'm bullish, bullish, bullish. So for me, the thesis doesn't change. It only gets better. It's just maybe you can take advantage of, some technical drops. I've added, right? I've added like a decent amount, but I'm completely aware that I could be underestimating the drop. We can go down to 34. I do not see that happening, but if it does, I still got to have cash on the sidelines, right? I need to sleep well. I need to look forward to the drop. I do not want to be all in and then it drops. And I'm very far from that because I'm always nibbling slowly. So there's no fear of that. And although I like to buy it cheap, when you're seeing the portfolio drop, not the best. And we've come down quite a bit. But look at this descending. I mean, this is an obvious breakout, an old breakout zone, right? This line, 37.5. It spans, Jesus, quite a while away. Yeah, you can see what I mean. That's so what's very important short term is this descending line. We sort of, if we take that out, up we go to 38, and it's one more move to 39, and then you're probably breaking 40. So in the end, and I didn't expect this to be resistance 39.5. Even 40 for me wasn't a number, but obviously once we close above 40, it's really back to the races and better races. It should be, 42, 44 quite quickly. So let's see what happens. Silver's already outperforming gold and even the DXY inversely today. So that's quite nice to see. And we're back at, this zone, this 37.5, which a couple of days ago was breakout zone and we broke out of it. So it's not dramatic. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, and medium to long term, it's only gotten better. GDX is okay, right? Look at that pre-market already up a little bit. One decent move, and we're right back up to the 54.5 breakout zone. So for me, no problem, absolutely no problem. GDXJ, bit lower. It needs to, yeah, actually, it broke down out of this zone here, but we're already sort of, let's see if we can close back above this sort of 66-ish zone. But there's an underperformance here of GDXJ versus GDX. So let's see. I think it's gold and silver that has to bring this one up. When it comes to silver, SIL, yeah, also a bit weaker than GDX. Makes sense. Silver's come down more than gold, and we sort of lost this zone. But if we're already up here pre-market, we move back up. Honestly, I don't want to say it's bullish, but it's not bearish anymore. SIL J should be weaker, should be the weakest of them all. And it's not really the weakest of them all. It's kind of in line with GDXJ and even SIL. It's really GDX that's outperformed. So you got that defensive senior gold stocks that are the ones to hide in. And actually, that's what I was mainly buying on the dip. I was buying, I might as well move to the portfolio now. I was buying the senior ones. You should know them by now if you follow me. Let's go to Newmont. Yeah, and for me, Newmont was not just a senior good one to hide in, but we had good news and gapped up. And in the end, we were filling gaps, right? So I was buying on the line you just saw before, 62 point whatever it was. Actually, it was a few days ago. I don't even remember. But I think it was this candle here. I was buying that gap fill from there, 62.5, let's say, probably a bit above. And then I remember I added also after 1 or 2 days after, and it must have been around 62, 62.11 rings a bell. But yeah, gap fill because you got great news, gap up. So obviously it's going to be one of the ones that goes up as soon as there's an excuse to bounce. So for me, Newmont was an obvious ad, and I did, and it looks good here. Pre-market, you don't really doesn't count too much. There's not enough volume. US market hasn't opened, and news could interrupt everything during the day. But once you close above this sort of Friday high, like let's say we close at 64 today, it's just one decent day away from making new highs. So Newmont, no problem. Barrick, this is one I also added to, just because look at this, it's like higher, higher highs, higher lows. Higher lows are more obvious than the higher highs, but here you had a new high. You come down and it didn't really come down that much. Well, it wants to go up more, doesn't it? What doesn't go down wants to go up. So I'm not looking for the ones that are destroyed the most. It just doesn't work. There's a reason they're destroyed. There's a reason they're not going up. You want to go to the ones that have moved up, and Barrick is a good one to hide in, right? Defensive senior hasn't really gone up compared to all the other ones. Here I'm using my little laptop, so I can't really zoom out that quickly. But I mean, this has gone nowhere near as much as, the Agnico Eagles, which is another one. Obviously, all the seniors I added to, again, this one a bit like Newmont and Barrick, made a new high recently, came down higher low, and look where we are now, pre-market. You could even make a new all-time high close today. Do you know what I mean? This one wants 130 and it's just going to keep going 150, 170. Next year, testing 200 probably, or the year after. This is beautiful. So Agnico Eagle hitting that. I wasn't looking at the ones that was, percentage wise down the most. I was looking at the ones with the strongest chart. So Newmont, Barrick, Agnico, Pan America, another one that I added to. This one, okay, it's come down more than the others, but gap fill. I think I added where the first yellow is, and then I was happy to add on the real gap fill. This one, long term, absolutely going to 50 and beyond, right? Fundamentally, one of the best stocks out there. Um, I mean, it mines a lot of gold too, and it's just making a lot of money. And long term, I'm no expert in the stock, but I know it's one of the best, and technically filled the gap. That's where I'd like to buy. So I added that one, and I'm just looking at the value. Dollar wise value is like I've always tried to have around 6K in each of them, and now I've got like seven. It's quite a lot. Those top four, you can't even see them because I deleted them on TradingView. But Newmont, Barrick, Agnico, Pan America, they're now worth 7K. One or two of them a bit above, bit below. That is extremely high for me, and I know that we could come down, but my portfolio is big. My sidelines cash on the side is very big because I've always been trimming. So although the portfolio will drop, I got a lot of cash on the side, and once we bounce, it should very quickly like a 5 or 10% bounce bring me to new all-time highs, and I'll be selling on the way up, the little sells on the way up, just like the little buys on the way down. So Pan America, very happy to buy there on the gap fill. We'll see what happens today, of course. Wheaton, another one that made a new high here. What are we talking? 22nd July-ish, that period. New high. I like it. Came back down, higher low than the other ones. Fine, I'll buy that. Wheaton, obviously, the best royalty. Very happy to buy that. I don't see much downside. I don't usually like stocks that just go up like this, but we're in a new realm, right? Gold is here to stay. It's here to go higher, fundamentally long term, whether it's wars, macro, fiscal, monetary, whatever. All stars are aligned. They're even more aligned. Trump is everything he does is for me long-term bullish, the metals. You're not really cutting the spending. He wants lower rates. He's doing tariffs. The wars are increasing. He's unable to stop the Ukraine war. I think even if there's a surprise stop to the Ukraine war, which I don't foresee, I don't even think war has a massive impact. It's like a massive drop for 1 or 2 days, and then we're back at the real reasons that the metals go up, which is fiscal, monetary, you know. So Wheaton, very nice. I expect it depends what happens today, but it should follow the metals and outperform, relatively speaking. Franklin Nevada, another one I bought. Now this one's weaker than Wheaton, but I mean, it's just as good as a senior. And I think in this case, it's come down enough to be more attractive than Wheaton. I expect it to go up more. Also, we broke out of this descending. It's not exactly been dropping like the others. It already dropped. So I expect Franco Nevada to outperform Wheaton. And this is pretty bullish, broke out, retested, and now a little pop. You start to close above any of these last daily high of days, like 165, you're basically going straight to 170. So this one might be the one that moves the most out of all of them, or goes down less than the. Obviously, if I'm wrong, I don't expect these to go down too much. There could be a -3, 4% day. You could even see -5% at the open, but it'll probably end -3.1%. They all in the end, you have some bad opens or during the day, you see them down quite a lot, and then they're only down -2, 3%, and gold down $50. And then you got the other juniors and mid tiers, they're slaughtered and they don't recover as much. So I'm very happy to hide in these six that I just went through. And they're the ones I added to. All right, Metalla. This is one I would not add to. I've not liked this stock for a while, but I must admit it's really outperformed what I thought it would do. We're still holding around $4. It's quite good. This I can delete. In fact, this I can delete. Um, this is a little zone. You can see also retested it 3.8, held quite well. Hasn't dropped too much, I mean, we're at 395 here, so basically at $4. $4 was a dream a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just holding, I'm not buying, I'm not selling. My next sell, I think, is like around 479 or something, probably, yeah, probably 479. I'm going by memory here because I've already sold this zone, I believe, 429. Or was I trying to sell 439? Maybe I didn't sell yet, but I'm in no hurry. It's not worth that much, but it's doing quite well. I just don't want to buy it for old time's sake. It doesn't, I'm just worried that it goes back to its old tricks of just being weak and pathetic. Although I do think it's probably going to continue to do quite well. Uh, I forgot the order I usually do them in. Let's just keep going. I am gold, what I consider a bit of a mid tier. This one, and maybe there's something here that I haven't put in yet, something like that. This one is bit weak, right? It's come down. Whilst we were here the last 2 days, I was foreseeing a drop to 610, but obviously the metals have done okay, especially with Friday, but that's not the best day there for IM Gold, given Friday's moving gold. I think it's a bit weak. If we go up, I expect resistance around 750, just below. If gold and silver start to go down, this one I think will quickly move down to $6, where I will add again. Long term, I think this one continues to do quite well. My average is like threes, low threes. I really entered well. You're not going to check the videos, but the videos from like a year ago or something. So this one, I'm just holding. If we go down, I sell. If we go up, I don't even think I've got to sell at 740. I think I'm looking for a bigger move, right? Either on the way up or on the way down. So this one holding. Equinox. This one is worth more than iron gold. Normally it should be worth the same. This one is okay. I see a lot of strong support coming up. It's not that strong. This bounce is okay. This drop was okay, didn't drop too much, didn't bounce too much. Support, honestly, this support probably doesn't exist anymore. I think that was support from before. I should have deleted. It's really the ascending line. If we start to come down, then you've got this line, which we can move up a little bit to coincide with this, and this ascending, right? That's extremely obvious support, 565 or something like that, plus minus 10 cents. See what I mean? So that's where I will buy there. It could even flush and come back up, but I'm willing to buy a little tranche there. And if we go up, I wouldn't sell unless for some reason it's really obvious everything's going to go back down and we're at, you know, 650 support, so resistance, so it'll be a 649 sell. But you got these little levels right after. These are more obvious areas to sell. If we break out of this, we're probably going to go beyond that and fill the gap actually. So I remove that. So there's a little level there, and then there's this big level, old high over here. So I'm just holding. Let's see which way it goes. If we start to flush this and keep going, it's probably quite a few of them dropping, but the next level is pretty obviously the psychological and technical level of $5. I think I've forgotten one of the stocks, Aris Mining, the one that I did add to it very lightly there. I hate adding so high up, but I've wanted to add to this for a while. I think it's just going to keep going. Very minimal add. I'd love a flush down here, but it's only going to do that if the metals take an absolute smash and then everything's down. And I'm probably going to favor another stock over this, like a senior one, because I'll probably be a bit scared. But this one, actually, there's no point in zooming out. There's no level. It just keeps going. It's a ridiculous stock. You see what I mean? So this one probably goes to 10 if we keep going. Um, and it's kind of reclaimed this ascending support, which I think is real. You know, one, two, three, you could even say four, five, and this would have been pivot six. It was forced down because of the sector, and now we're back up. Very, very bullish. So I added here, and I'm just holding. I'm not going to sell there because it's not worth enough. And if I sell, it'll again be not worth enough. B2 gold is okay. Let's get rid of that. So it's been coming down, didn't really rally like some of the other ones recently, but it's not really dropped too much and it's still sort of going sideways within this level. I might even, I don't know, can I do this? I may even just delete that. It's just sort of holding sideways. If we go down, there are other levels. I probably wouldn't buy there. I'd probably look for a bigger move down. But again, if there's a massive move down, then everything's down. I'm in no hurry. I don't love this stock because of where it's positioned, the Mali thing. It's made a nice profit, hasn't outperformed the others, hasn't underperformed. It's just okay, and I don't have too much in it, so I'm not desperate to sell because it's worth too much, and I'm not desperate to buy because of its jurisdiction. So I'm just happy holding. I think it's got a decent dividends. SBSW, am I missing something? No, SBSW. This one I was just trimming on a lot of the levels. I did trim also up here. Now it's back down. I have not bought this back. I think I got 400 and something shares. I used to have 600 or something. So this one, just palladium, platinum, there's multiple metals. And although gold and silver are okay, and palladium and platinum have come down. I'm not going to show you them right now, but they've come down also. So it's probably quite a good buy now. But it's just extremely high risk and it's gone up vertical. And I don't know, I just haven't got around to buying it since the drop. I was just, favoring the other ones, the gold and silver stocks. I don't want to say I didn't have time. I mean, I had good till cancel sells in. I could put good till cancel buys in. But I don't know. Maybe if it comes down a little bit more, I will probably buy because it's a bit too much of a drop. And I think Platinum Palladium are here to continue their breakout. In fact, I um I think they might even be better buys than gold. So this one has come down quite a bit, right? It's come down. 15%. It's okay. Most of these miners have come down, not the seniors, but some of the miners have come down 10, 15%. And SBSW is an absolute freak. This one could come down 25, 30%, then go up 50. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. Yeah, so I'm just holding for now. All right, the silver stocks. It's a new computer. I don't have all the notes with me. So, all right, First Majestic, I think is an absolute monster for a silver breakout. Now we've come back down. I've nibbled on all the silver miners. This I remember. I remember it was the gold seniors, and I kind of hedged that with silver mid tiers because other than Pan America, I don't own any silver seniors. There aren't that many anyway. So it was like, in case we just scream up, well, at least I bought some gold seniors and I've got some silver, freaks that move a lot. So I'm gonna make good money. If we come down, fine. I'll lose a bit. I still feel like adding because long term it's just more of an opportunity. But I've added the gold seniors, so it's a bit defensive. I don't lose that much in terms of percentage drops. So I'm not in the crazy gold mid tiers that much. I didn't add to them. But I am also in the silver, so I'll lose a bit there. Anyway, I added to First Majestic based on technicals, all of them, of course. Down here, right, we've got this 785-ish zone added. I think I added at 801 and also the next day 780 or something. So now it's worth what it was worth all the way up here. And obviously I was trimming on the way up. So it's just what I sold, I bought back. But now it's worth the same amount. And if we break out of this descending, obviously silver's needs to break out also for that. Next stop is all the way up here, and then we break out to new highs, and I made a lot of money. I know that we can come down. I know that the gap fill around 730 is also a level. I'm going to buy there. I made a decision. I've got a lot on the sidelines. I don't mind going heavier and heavier and heavier, right? The portfolio's gone up quite a lot. I can afford it, and I believe long term that this move is going to happen. And without risk, there's no reward. And I think 2 years from now, First Majestic is $20. And this is just what's the difference between 950 and 7, $8? Nothing, right? In the long term. So it's just more of an opportunity. So there you go. Added little nibbles. First Majestic, technically, yes, we can come down, fill the gap. And if we do, I'd extend this because we're going to break out of it. This is a bullish wedge, or whatever they call it. It's the most bullish thing. You break out of that, you're going higher. Next one, Fortuna. They've all got similar charts, if I remember. Okay, not really. Fortuna, let's add the descending, my favorite. Oh yeah, but this one also came down to support. We got the ascending and also higher low, right? First Majestic was hitting the same low on a horizontal basis. But here you got higher low. So Fortuna, even though I don't prefer it as a stock, I think it's at support, and then I bought accordingly. If we bounce, cool, we take out $7. It is the most obvious scream up. You've got the horizontal, the psychological number, and now this new descending. So $7 is the level to break, and up you go to 750 and beyond. Yes, we can drop. I'll make the levels later if we drop. You still have to drop and take out the next horizontal though. So that would be your first level. Like 620 would be the next level to break. Once you lose that, a little gap fill. I'm not going to do it all now, but the levels will appear quite obviously. And I'll draw them accordingly if we drop. So Fortuna I added. So it's really the gold seniors and these silver mid tiers that I own. Next one is CDE. This one, um, my favorite. I always say my favorite as soon as I click on CDE. You know, here you got your little resistance just below $10. It's really $10, but okay, I'll leave it there. We came down to support, horizontal support. I didn't add as much as the others because it's worth more than the others already. So, but still out of respect. If we drop, then you got this level. I'm not sure if it's there or it's there. So I may just, move it up or whatever. I'm not going to start drawing charts during the day when trading's happening and I think it's going to bounce and we're around this level. I'll just buy market price wherever it is. But I expect it to be around there. Let's just say 770. Yeah, I prefer to own it than to miss it. But for now we're holding 850. Let's see. We've got to really go back up to sort of 960, 70 slash $10. But I think long term, it moved up strong before everything else because of the good news. And we broke out. I removed it now, but if I just zoom out, can I do that? Oh God, this laptop is tiny. Yeah, you've got this. I removed it because it's irrelevant now, but remember we took out this, right? We took it out. This is massive. It's like long term, medium to long term breakout. So I remember that. That's why it's worth buying, right? So I added that. Next one, Heckler. Let's go back to daily. Heckler. I mean, maybe a bit like Fortuna. It's lost. It's ascending, right? I'm not going to cheat and do that. There's no point because the real support is here, right? It's 550, nice number. But it's still, I mean, look how close we are to lows that shouldn't really be visited. 450 is a low that could be visited. You take out 550, you start to move down. Silver's going to 34. Oh my God. Uh, well, yeah, $5. I'll probably nibble there. 450, strong nibble. I mean, these are levels you shouldn't really see. Heckler is a beast. You know, if silver's going to 40, 50, Heckler should be, damn it, it should be 10. So take advantage of the broken chart. It takes extra long to go back up, but eventually the market will reprice accordingly. So I added this. I know I added all of them. I don't know when. Maybe at 580, maybe again on Thursday or Friday. The level is 550, and then we'll see another gap fill there. It'll be obvious. It's already obvious. But I'm willing to nibble this one all the way down to 450, where there'll be the very strong nibble. So Heckler, again, I'm looking medium long term. I'm looking at silver taking out 40. Yes, you could have a drop in the markets. It takes out the miners. And for me, opportunity. Because otherwise, it's obvious that we're recovering when it's kind of too late and you're all the way back up here and everyone says breakout imminent. Yeah, but is it obvious now? No, it's not. But the long-term macros definitely count as much as the technicals. Next one is what's the next one? I think it's a mag silver. It's EXK, isn't it? Sorry. EXK. EXK made a new high, came back down. You've got this ascending, which is kind of lost, hasn't it? Yes, it has. We need to be disciplined. It's lost it. I wouldn't say that's a level anymore. It's not obvious where the level is. It's not obvious. A pre-market, we're probably back up to where the ascending is, but all right, look, there's two areas that are mini levels. There's one and then there's two. All right. In case we drop, I'll probably be using that. So 479 or something, and then it's 450 and 480, basically. So little levels to buy if you still believe. And then this almighty zone, 425, you can see it's breakout and it retested. So those are levels to watch on the way down, on the way up. Uh, Probably this. But once you're there, you're basically making a new high. Again, one that should scream higher if silver goes to 40 and beyond. So, and I think it will. So these are little nibble zones. It's nibbles for me, just little light buys. Mag Silver, this is the one I didn't, it's the one that I didn't want to buy. And I actually don't know if I bought this one because it's going to merge into Pan America. Pan America is probably worth the most out of all of them. So I was buying the others, all the other silver stocks I just went through. Mag Silver, I may have nibbled just because of the gap fill, but nothing aggressive probably. Those are levels on the way down. I've already drawn them. But again, I'm not even sure if I'll buy them because, right, it's going to merge with Pan America. All right, that's it. I don't know if I forgot a stock. I don't think I did because new computer, new everything, just never used it before. So very sorry I didn't do a video. A lot has happened. I'm not sure which way we go, but I see the levels on the dollar, gold, silver, miners, and the individual miners from my portfolio. I hope that was useful and good luck to all of us.